Hi, everyone. So, my name is Christy McCoy, and I'm the proud owner of Premier Softball Academy. So, I wanted to take some time. It's been a really long time since I have been here on Facebook Live. It's been a long time since I've done anything live. Um, and let me kind of share as to why that has been. So, over COVID, just like most of you, we've had our ups and we've had our downs. I have moved in from my building, my Premier Softball Academy, and I've moved into my garage and I've turned it into a studio, and I'm doing everything here virtual and online. Up until about 5 weeks ago, I was doing just great, and then I had to do a little bit of a back maintenance surgery, and it's put me a little bit behind because it's ended up making my hips sore. So, as I've been sitting around, still doing lessons online, but not as many as I have been doing, just unfortunately due to pain, which is finally getting better. It's given me so much time to sit and to think. And as I'm sitting and thinking, I'm getting a lot of texts from my parents, from my students' parents about my kids are losing it. They're losing the engagement. And I think we need to take a break. I think we need to, just take a pause from lessons, or, I don't know what to do. Do you have any ideas? And I sit back and I'm in the process of right now developing a sister company, as some of you may or you may not have seen. It's called the Virtual Studio. Well, as we know, girls and most people, for the most part, are visual learners. Okay. So I've taken this to a new step, and I'm really, really excited to be announcing that portion of the business here soon. But that's not why I'm here today. I'm here today because as I've had all of this time, I'm sitting and I'm thinking, how can we re-engage your kids, my kids, our kids, to get excited again about something that's been taken away from them? Okay, so we know right now school is coming up. For those of you who have not already started, we're starting soon. So, the evil Zoom is coming, or Google Classroom, or whatever platform your schools are using is coming. And it's scary because I know for myself, I've had one child who absolutely was fine with it, and then I had another child who just was not okay with it. A lot of tears. Hi, Fresca. I'm so glad that you guys are here. And everybody, please come and say hi. I want you to engage with questions. It's all about engagement right now. And so as I'm sitting and I'm thinking and trying to come up with this answer, I realize it's right in front of me. Okay. And so I'm going to share a little bit of it with you guys today. I'm going to start with my engagement with my children, and then I'm going to tell you how I've changed and I've turned this into engagement with my students. And you may or you may not be able to take bits and pieces of this and share it with your kids. I would love to be able to share the softball side with your kids, because sometimes parents and coaches and other adults, trusted adults, we all relate to everybody and everything differently. So you might be the right person for my kids, because I am looking for some adult mentors for my kids. So starting with my children. So I found that at home, we push, right? And so for me, I'm not pushing because they're not overscheduled children. They don't have 5,000 lessons. They don't have, they don't have all of these different meetings and things that they need to go to. But what they do have is freedom. Okay. And you can actually see one of them maybe popping in here right now, even though she was told already that I was in a meeting. Yes.
I'm going to write down to Anaya.
They're on their way here.
No. Veer's already here, and Veer told me that Anaya wants me to come down to Luciana's.
Then the boys need to ride you down there. Okay. So multitasking. Okay. Now, so we have this situation where my kids are not overscheduled. They have one or two things that they absolutely love. So I let them focus on that. And then we also, of course, have school. That's highest priority. Now, at home, they have responsibilities. They have to have their rooms clean. They have to make their beds. They each have a couple of chores. Okay. Now, what I've found is that my biggest struggle with them is not the fun stuff, right? It's the chores. It's just doing the basics in life. And what I found is that the hardest part is they chose the sports that they love. They chose baseball, they chose softball, they chose football, they chose to do dance. They didn't choose the chores. We chose the chores for them. So why would they be engaged in these, right? So I'm telling them, you need to go do the dishes. You need to feed this animal. You need to feed this animal, and you need to go pick up the dog poop. Okay, well now it's the fight, right? The fight is on. We don't want to do it. What we want to do is do the opposite. I'll do it later. I'm going to procrastinate. I didn't hear you, Mom. What? And then they play the ignoring game, right? Now, granted, my kids are awesome. They're great kids. So I'm not by any means complaining about my kids. I'm just going to generalize a little bit. And so we get that resistance. We get that push. We get that pull. And then we end up in that argument, and the voices get louder. The voices get louder. And then we have the arguing. And then I'm going to take away your Xbox. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do that. What's up, Jason? Welcome. And so at the end of the day, we've had all of this useless and this senseless fighting and arguing over what? The dishes? Dog poop? Over things that are choices. So, step number 1, let them engage in decision making. Again, what have we just talked about? That I am in a meeting right now.
Okay.
And no, she may not. The two of you need to ride her down there. I mean, it's just simple. I said, don't use the garage while I'm here in a meeting.
I'm sorry, my bike's in the garage.
So you can get your bike out, and then both boys need to ride you down the street. You are only 8 years old. Safety first, my friend. I would like you to come back home safe and healthy.
I was just saying the boys are not going to come with me.
Well, then you're not going to get to
They're
go.
literally not even out.
So, as we find what they are excited about, okay, which is not going to be any chores. Let's be real, okay? Is we ask them, what is it that you are interested in doing? And now they're going to say like, oh, nothing. I'm interested in sleeping. I'm interested in playing Xbox. I'm interested in making slime. Okay, well, obviously none of those are going to be acceptable for what? For any type of helping mom around the house. But what we are going to do is we are going to give them choices. So we're going to listen to what they might be interested in. Okay, well, I might be interested in doing an indoor chore. I might be interested in doing an outdoor chore. Okay, great. So now here are some choices for you, and these choices are only for 1 week. So if your job for 1 week is going to be doing the dishes, it's only for 1 week. And then next week you can let me know what you think, but only if you did it 100%. And if you do things 100% of the time, you will not have a mom that complains. You'll have no yelling. We'll have no arguing. We'll have nothing. So do you know what the word here is? Listening. We need to listen to our kids. Okay? It's not letting them by any means at all, dictate to us. It's that we are listening. We're opening up our ears because they're not choosing to do the chores that we're telling them to do. So now they're like, oh, I don't want to do them. Okay? So we're giving them choices of things that actually do need to be done. We're giving them options and also telling them, guess what? In a week, If you do it 100% of the time, you can switch next week. And then I also give them time frames. So, okay, so if you're going to pick the floors and you're going to help me with vacuuming and or sweeping, let's say that's their choice. I need it done on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Now, if you can do that and it's up to my standards, guess what? We're moving forward. Now, we have the concept of this whole life thing. Now, you can apply this to anything that you want within life that works within your family, within your lifestyle, within your kids. Okay. But that's my recommendation. And it's easy. It's just listening. It's that simple. Okay. Now, are we all going to lose our shit every once in a while? Yeah, we are. Is this going to work? It will if we follow through. I found that for me, the biggest thing is actually following through. I've had so many friends and we've done different charts. They've recommended, I've made these beautiful whiteboards and chalkboards with all kinds of, art and charts and blah, 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 blah. And they didn't work. Why? Because I didn't follow through. It's not that they didn't follow through. It's that I didn't follow through, but I also didn't listen because I just told them. This is what you're doing. But then I ended up doing also. Okay, now, how does this apply to sports and re-engagement? Because that's really what the big picture is here right now. Is I've got a lot of parents who are calling me right now and texting me and saying, hey, we're going to take a break from lessons. My kid, she's just not practicing on her own. She's not wanting to practice. She's not doing it. We're not going to waste our money. And you know what I say? I fully support that. I don't think that you should. Now, that obviously is going to hurt me financially. However, it's more important for us to re-engage your children because we don't want them to give up in a time and in a situation where it's not their choice. This pandemic is nobody's choice, okay? It's the whole glass is half empty, glass is half full kind of thing, okay? So what can we do? So I've come up with a concept. I'm not going to say it's a solution. It's a concept because it is a process. So I'm going to share with you the first part of this process, and then I'm going to invite you to ask more questions. You can message me. You can also say, hey, you know what? I want to give my daughter or my son, I want to give them this try because this works for all sports. So as I'm sitting here as a softball coach, know that this process, this concept works for all sports. So it's not just softball based. It just happens to be that I am a softball coach. Okay. So I'm going to spend an hour long Zoom or FaceTime, whatever works best for you, with your child on the phone. Okay. I ask that they're in a quiet spot, quiet space so that there's really no interruptions, but it needs to be a comfortable space. So it could be their bedroom. It could be the couch. It could be just something that's going to be non-interrupted. They could technically be outside. Comfort. Okay. Non-distractions. So if you know that at 5:00 is the best time for her or him to do this, fantastic. But if you also know that she loves being outside or he loves being outside, but there's a neighbor's dog who just is always barking, probably not the best choice. Okay. Now, in this hour, okay, and we've gone over because you know what? I'm going to do these sessions at the end of the day. It's going to be my very, very last session of the day. There's no time limit. So if we go over the hour, it is what it is. This is about your child, okay? This is not about me tapping my watch and being, okay, well, our hour's done now, so good luck to you. That's not the way this works. So in this hour, I'm going to learn and I'm going to find out who this child is, okay? What they like, what they don't like, what their confidence level is in life, what their confidence level is in the sport that they're playing, what their expectations are, what their fears are of that sport. If they have failure fears, all kinds of things. Okay. We're going to talk about their practicing environment. We're going to talk about if they like to practice, if they don't like to practice. And all of this practicing is obviously going to be on their own, generated because, again, we can't do a lot of things right now in person and with their team. And so we're going to talk about all of this. And what I've found is that when I have a conversation with them and I'm not their parent, is that they open up more. Okay. So for those of you who are just joining us, we're just starting to talk about step 2 of this. And we're talking about the session number 1, which is the sports related session. We just finished talking up about the parent related portion of this. Step 2 is where I'm going to go one-on-one with your child online. They're in their own safe space where they're comfortable. And I'm going to get to know them as more of a person, but as the athlete and person. And then what's going to happen is we're going to develop this plan. And this plan is based 100% on them as an individual. Now, how does this happen? This happens by the same exact way that what happened before in the parenting. And by working with your children is I'm just going to listen to them. I'm going to listen. I'm going to ask questions, but I'm going to let them do a lot of the leading, a lot of the directing. Things that sometimes as a parent, we fall back on because we don't always, unfortunately, have the time, which sucks because that's kind of like our job. But sometimes we are doing other things. We're multitasking. Now, I'm a single mom, so I wear so many different hats at so many different times. And sad to say, I don't always have that hat of sitting and listening. And shame on me for that. So we're going to sit, we're going to devise a plan. And then what we're both going to do is both your child and myself, we're going to leave the session with homework. Okay. I'm going to have homework that I will create and design specifically for your child. Your child is going to have homework that is specific to that child. And it could be life, it could be sports, it could be a combination of the two. Now, the work that I'm putting in is not their plan. It's not their practice plan. It's not their life plan. What it is from what I have listened to from our conversation. And it's my way of basically bringing all of their thoughts, their happiness, all of things that fit in their bubble and bringing it all together in a creative coaching way. Now, if you feel like this is something that makes sense to you, okay, something that, or if you have questions, because I'm sure you're like, okay, I know you're being really, really vague about this, but it's hard to really explain until I have you and your child with me. I can give you a brief example, but every child's different. And just like how I train for the physical part of softball, I train for each individual. Now, re-engagement is so important, and I am here to re-engage. I'm here to help you re-engage your kids. So I end every single one of my sessions with my students with dream big, work hard, because that is my motto, not only for Premier Softball Academy and also soon to be coming the virtual studio, but also in life. Because if you don't end your world with dreaming big and working hard, what's the point? So thank you guys for watching. I'm really excited about this new endeavor. And not only that, but I want you to take me up on this, okay? Because I want to help your kids get re-engaged. So with that being said, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Dream big, work hard, and whatever it is that I can do for you, I'm here for you.